friends, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Caitlin and I like to film eyeshadow palette ranking and review videos, as well as the occasional other beauty content sprinkled in. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button because I post 2 videos every single week. And for those of you that are not new here, my face is happy that you are seeing it again. And I have what I think is a very exciting video today. I'm going to be doing 2 looks, sharing some information and overall first impressions thoughts of the Italian Spritz palette from Too Faced. So if you want to see that, give this video a like and go ahead and keep on watching. So, I am going to look down while I read things and also look over here because my iPad's over here. And there's some information that I thought was really interesting about this palette, but just warning everybody that that is why I'm not looking at the camera because I can't read and look up at the same time. So anyways, this is the Italian Spritz palette. This is the new palette from Too Faced. It is available on Too Faced's website and it is also available, I believe, on Ulta's website. And then I got mine at my local Ulta store. So I believe they have them in all the stores. I don't know. It looked like it was in stock at all the stores near me. So the Italian Spritz palette is based on the drink at the Italian Spritz, which I think it's more like an Aperol Spritz but like set in Italy. Am I not mistaken? Or is Italian Spritz like an actual drink? I am familiar with the Aperol Spritz. So basically this palette says transport yourself to Lake Como, Italy without the airfare with this sparkling fresh eyeshadow palette inspired by our favorite summer cocktail, which an Aperol Spritz is a very good cocktail. This is made in Italy. And let's see, 18 shades, distributed out of California. What else are we looking for? Doesn't have any ingredients on the carton. It doesn't say anything about, oh wait, yes it does. There's mica in at least some of the shades. I don't see talc on here. I see mica mentioned a couple of times. So I'm not sure. Yeah, the word talc is not jumping out at me, but I'm not going to say it's talc free because they didn't say that. They said that it was formulated without parabens, gluten, mineral oil. Is talc one of those things? I don't know. I'm not that smart. Anyways, does it say I don't think it says the open container, like the open jar, open carton, whatever you want to call that. I don't think that's on here. Interesting. They don't have that little like open whatever warning. Their website says cruelty free and it says they're dedicated to cruelty free beauty, but it doesn't say anything about being vegan or anything on here. But anyways, formulated without parabens, gluten, mineral oil. I'm not gonna lie, reading that on their website was the first time that I found out that there can be gluten in eyeshadow palettes. I did not know that. It smells like a summer spritz is what they claim. It smells, I don't know if it smells, kind of. It's just very citrusy. It smells like a citrusy drink. So yeah, I guess it smells like a summer spritz. There is a few different finishes. They said that this palette has matte, metallic, shimmer, and special effect finishes. Here's what the palette looks like. I just wasn't showing it. Here's what the actual packaging. It is their tin packaging. I feel like in my humble and personal experience, their tin palettes tend to be better than their cardboard palettes. I have not been interested in a Too Faced palette since the pumpkin spice palette because just none of the color stories really interested me. Anyways, so let me tell you about these. So obviously the matte shades are the matte shades. Let me tell you about the special effects shades. So the Como After Dark, this gray is listed as a smoky gunmetal with pearl swirl effect metallic. So let's swatch that since it's supposed to be a special effect shade. So it says Pearl Swirl Effect Metallic. It is definitely smoother than the other metallics, but and there's some like sparkle to it, like different, I would say like a pearl sparkle. So maybe that's what they mean by the special effect. So that's the one special effect shade. And I believe there was another one. I only know this because when I read special effect, I was like intrigued. And so I was reading about them on this website. Oh, I think it's Spritz and Gliss. They don't label it but they call it a purple, pink, and blue shimmer. And this one feels like more of like a toppery shade. So to me, it's like a purple pink with a light blue shift or a light blue reflect. Yeah, it's not the Compared to indie shadows, it's not the most insane duochrome ever, but for the mainstream market, I think it's nice. All right, so I did do swatches of this palette. I'll put them right here, and I'll scoot out of the way so there's room. I did swatches of this palette. I did a little bit of a video, like just kind of showing it before I put my grubby fingers in it, and I will put that up here so you can see it. The shades that jump out to me in this palette are Lake Como, which is that light, how do they describe it? They call it a sky blue and silver shimmer. I also think Lake and Bake looks really cute, and that's a midnight blue metallic. What's interesting when I swatched these shades is that there's a like kind of a gritty texture to them, and I don't mean gritty in like a something's wrong with them, but it's more of like a chunky, shimmery texture. And so at first when you pick it up on your finger, you're like, ooh, what is that? But then when you smooth it out like over your skin, it like creates this really smooth metallic. You'll see in look one that it wasn't a couple of the shades weren't the most smooth on my eyelid, which is a little bit more textured, but I'm scooting back so I can get my primer. But anyways, I will kick this on over to look number one, which is the look that I did yesterday, and I was getting ready for my anniversary dinner, and I'll share a little bit about why this palette is kind of special to me, and yeah. We'll do that, and then you'll come back and you'll see this face again for look two. Okay, look number one, I am not sure if this video setup looks right. Tie up because I'm just wearing a robe and I don't want to get demonetized. Anyways, let's do the first look with the Too Faced Italian Spritz palette. I'm so excited to be using this. Yeah, anyways, we'll just get into it. Let's see, I'm wearing a black and red dress tonight for my anniversary dinner, so probably gonna stick to the more neutrally shades, I think, and then I'll do a more colorful look for look number two. So I'm gonna do Toasted in Tuscany, and when I said Toasted in Tuscany, I meant like in my crease on a fluffy brush. This is just a BH brush. If you have this set of brushes, it is the number 8 brush. This palette smells amazing. It's so good. These mattes feel really nice too. Like they're very soft and blend. This one at least in particular is blending very easily, but even when I swatched them, they felt really soft. Probably doesn't look like a whole lot on camera, but that is worked into the crease. I've mentioned this, I think, on this channel a couple of times, maybe not, maybe more on TikTok, but my husband, when he was not my husband, he was my boyfriend. Anyway, so in December of 2020, my husband and I filmed a video that was like, my boyfriend does my makeup because he was my boyfriend at the time. Anyways, he picked the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette to use to do my makeup, and he did what is probably like the worst makeup look ever. I mean, I'll be honest, he did do eyeliner, which I felt like was impressive that he even tried, so I'll give him props for that. But anyways, I will put up a picture right now of the final look. Anyways, I'm going into Spaghetti About It, which is a hilarious shade name. But anyways, afterwards, we were cleaning up. I, went into the bathroom, came out, and he was on one knee to propose, and I just kept saying, when I look like this, because I still had the makeup on. So anyways, that is our proposal story. So if you ever see me refer to the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette as my proposal palette, that is why. I never posted that video because there was just kind of a lot of issues with it. It was a ton of footage to go through, so it took me forever to edit, and then by the time I got done editing it, it just didn't feel right to post it, so I just never posted it. And sometimes perfectionism can get you. So when this Italian Spritz palette launched, it is launching on my anniversary, our 1-year wedding anniversary, and it's the first Too Faced palette that I've actually wanted to try since the pumpkin spice palette. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. We also went to Greece for our honeymoon and had Aperol spritzes there. So I know it's an Italian spritz and it's in Italy, but it just all felt right. So I picked it up, and so far I'm really happy with how this is looking. It's just, a neutral look, so Nothing too exciting yet, but I'm going to take this Blend Bunny oh, the last brush I was using, I don't think I mentioned it. It's a Cash Beauty brush. I'm going to take this Blend Bunny Cosmetics B3 brush, and we're going to go into the shade Espresso Yourself. I love a good pun, so I'm here for all of these shade names. Oh, you know, this is like, these mattes are really nice. They're kind of blending into each other super easily. And this is a really like simple neutral look, but it's also has really pretty, at least for my skin, I feel like it's really pretty tones on my skin tone. I'm really happy with this so far. It's taking everything in me not to put the shade Lake Como all over my lid because that blue is beautiful, but I think that blue with this brown crease would be another really pretty look. I don't know if I remember the Pumpkin Spice palette performing this well. Maybe it did. I don't know. I had it a while ago. I still have it. I almost decluttered it, and then people on TikTok came for me. I'm going to take the shade Take Me to Church, but I'm going to use this. This is actually a concealer brush from Billion Dollar Brushes. I think I got it in a BoxyCharm one time. Some of their shimmer shades are really, I don't know how to explain it. They're like kind of like a gritty texture. Not in, I don't mean in a bad way, but it's like a very like chunky texture is I guess a better word for it. And I don't know, and they like look so, when I swatched them at least, when you moved your finger to like press the texture out, it looked so pretty. So I kind of want to use the brush only to focus to get the outline of the shade, you know, like the placement, so I can be precise in this crease. But I'm going to use the finger to actually apply the shade to the lid. And I am using Fix Plus because I just feel like that helps on the brush. So now I'm going to take that same shade, but go in with my finger. And we might be getting what Teresa's dad likes to call like a... Never mind. We're going to get demonetized if we say that. But if you watch Teresa's Dead, you know. If you know, you know. That's the texture we're getting by using this on the finger. Just because it's so textured, it's like adhering to the texture on my lid. And so it's just defining that a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie, I know a lot of people don't like that, but I don't hate it. Sometimes I like a more textured look. Sometimes I like a very soft, subtle look. Yeah, that's basically it for that shade. Okay, now I'm gonna take this ColourPop E18 brush and the shade Sinsin right there, which is the darker brown. This one picked up a little bit better. This brush could be better than that Billion Dollar Brushes one. I don't know. This palette smells amazing. I think I've said that already, but you just get this hint of citrus and it smells delightful. All right, I'm gonna flip to the other side of this and go back to Take Me to Church. Just try and pick a little bit more of that up, but on this brush instead. All right, I'm gonna take this glitter pill from Half Magic Beauty. This is the shade Money Please. And it's like a coppery glitter, and I think that'll be really fun as like a glitter liner, just to spice the look up a little bit more. Oh yeah, because it's like copper, but it has some peach. Ooh, that works perfectly. This is the only glitter pill. I don't know, I guess I haven't seen the blue one in a minute, but my green one and my silver one got really liquidy and nothing comes out of them. And then I don't know about the blue one, but the Money Please one, that one stays. Let me let that dry. Actually, you don't need to watch me fan my face. I will do the rest of my face and then come back and show you probably just the finished look, because I'm going to do the same mattes on the lower lash line and then probably use my highlighter for the inner corner, because I don't think any of the maybe I might go in with Ciao Bellini and the inner corner. I haven't decided yet, but I'll be back in a second. Here is the finished first look. Not the most unique look. Definitely a look you could probably get with some other palettes, but I do feel like it performed really well, and I think it's nice to check out the mattes. I mean, who doesn't love... I mean, a lot of people don't love neutral palettes, but for me, I don't mind a neutral palette, especially one like this that can get me a pretty look that I can wear to the office if I want to, or for a night like tonight where I'm going out for my anniversary dinner and I just want to look pretty. I don't want to have you know, a super colorful look. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still have my glitter. There's still a little pink in there. I'm not like, you know, I'm not like a no makeup type of person, but I really like how this look turned out. So anyways, let me know what you think of this look in the comments, and let's go ahead and move on to look number 2. I am using the Shadow Fix Primer from About Face Beauty. It's kind of my preferred eyeshadow base. I don't know anymore, because it was the original bottle that or tube that I had of this was my absolute favorite. And then I switched to a new one, and I feel like I've been having more issues with this new one than I did with the first one. Just noticing a lot more creasing. I don't know if my skin's like maybe a little bit more oily. I'm not sure. I'm like, have I changed my makeup? I don't think so. I feel like I'm using the same skincare products, so I don't know. Anyways, but this is the one that I've been using a lot lately, so I'm gonna stick to it. I used the Shadow Fix Primer from Smashbox, which was my prior favorite, the other day. And I'm like, I really liked how that, but I didn't wear it that long. Whatever, you guys don't care about all that. Okay, so first look was obviously very neutral. I want to go for more of the colorful shades. I'm going to link Heather Austin's video down below, because she did looks that I didn't even think you could do with this palette. They were so colorful and so bright and pretty, and I was like, oh my gosh, Heather. So yeah, she really nailed it in her video, so I will link her video down below. My friend Brittany Ray Beauty also did a really incredible look with this palette, so I will link her video down below. Brittany tends to do like more neutral leaning or like colorful, but like a muted colorful look compared to what I feel like I do and what Heather does, but her look was beautiful as well. So I will make sure to link both those videos down below in case you want additional inspiration. Those are the only 2 videos I've watched with this palette so far, so don't feel like I'm leaving anybody out to be shady or, you know, I didn't like their look or anything. Those were just the only 2 videos I watched, but I thought they both did an amazing job. I really want to use the blues, but I also kind of want to use the purple. I think I'm going to go darkest to lightest, just because these shadows are more beginner friendly, so I feel like they're not super pigmented right off the bat. They're pigmented, and not in like saying they're not pigmented in like a bad way or like a criticism. I just mean they're meant for everybody, you know, like they're not meant for like indie makeup's kind of geared towards makeup lovers. You know, this eyeshadow palette is like meant to be purchasable for people who don't even know what they're doing, and they're just in Ulta and go, oh, that's pretty, and that smells good. You know what I mean? It does smell really good, by the way. Okay, so we're going to start with Mamma Mia, which they describe as a purple wine matte. And I'm using a Blend Bunny B4 brush, and I will try and keep this like this so that it is not in your way of seeing what I am doing. I do like to use the mirrors in the palettes when they have ones that are nice, just because it's a little bit easier for me to just keep this palette, like dip back in and hold it up at the same time. But hopefully I'm not in the way. Oh, you know what? I had initially intended to do a halo eye, but we took this too far. We'll figure it out. I forgot as I was falling asleep last night, I was like, halo eye, halo eye. That shade went on really nice, not patchy, pretty pigmented. I had to go in a few times, but not anything crazy where it's like, you know, it's annoying. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I will say that the scented palettes from Too Faced, they do enhance the experience because you're getting like that sensory input too. Like you're getting the visual input, you're getting like a textural, right? Because you're putting it on your body, and then smelling it. It's just like, it just enhances the overall experience. I don't know. Now, I know some people have really sensitive skin, so things being scented is not ideal for them, or just allergies and just are really sensitive like for fragrance, for their like to causing headaches and things like that. So I do want to say that it is a noticeable scent, but it's not like, I don't know, like it's like I'm noticing it when I'm like right here. It's not like down here, like when it's on my eyes I can notice it. I could bring my dog in to test it out because he used to love my Too Faced chocolate palette. He would be obsessed when I would wear that palette because he'd come just jump up and like lick my eyes every time I would wear it. He could tell. And now even to this day, if I'm wearing eyeshadow, he comes up and like puts his paws on my shoulders and like sniffs in my face and like sniffs my eyes. And then if if it's an eyeshadow that smells good. I'd be curious if he would lick this one, but if it's the when I used to wear the chocolate palette or the peach palette from Too Faced, he would lick my eye, and then ever since I stopped wearing like scented makeup, he's like sniffs it and then it's like, what is that? Does nothing for me, mom. Anywho, let's take this Lunar Beauty LBE 3 brush in the shade When in Rome, which is what they describe as a watermelon pink matte. Ooh, I like that. I'm not gonna lie, this palette just makes me want a cocktail. A margarita at dinner last night, that was delicious. I am a margarita girl personally. That's my favorite drink. That is my drink of choice. This halo eye might get a little bit out of control because I kind of did too much purple because I wasn't paying attention. Now I'm going to take this Paledopoly brush from Ace Beauté. This is the P2 brush. We're going to go into the shade Capri Fun. I like that name. I actually have some Capri Sun in my fridge, I think. Capri Fun is described as a muted pumpkin rust matte. Am I doing a sunset halo eye? The answer is yes. Yes, I am. That was the idea that came to me last night because I watched Heather and Brittany's looks and I was just like, dang, I don't know what I'm going to do with this palette. How they do such colorful look. Well, for Brittany's, I just was like, okay, that's pretty. She mixed the colors and the neutrals. Solid. And then Heather did like those really pretty colorful looks and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this to make mine more interesting because I just went neutral. It's my first look. So anyways, that's what happened before I fell asleep. And then as I was falling asleep, I was like, oh, sunset, baby. We got purple, orange, and pink in there. I love a sunset color story. Like, that is so pretty. You know what I mean? And that's pigmented and colorful for Too Faced. I feel like normally they don't go quite as punchy with the colors. And this time they did. I am here for it. I love it. I'm going to go back in to the other mattes we used just to build those shades back up because we lost them a little bit. And I'm connecting it over the middle now. I'm sorry if you can't see, but I do have to get up close and personal to see what I'm doing because otherwise I can't tell if it actually looks good or not. You know what? I'm going to finish going back and forth with these mattes just to create a nice blend. I don't think you need to see all that, but I'll come back and show you the shimmers that we're doing on the lid. Okay, so I went ahead and did this eye off camera. Not what I was picturing, but I do kind of like it. So we're gonna do it. I was just like, let me just test this. See if this goes the way I want it to. So I'm using a Cosmic Brushes CB6 brush and the shade Lake and Bake, and that is the shade that they describe. I lost everything. That is a shade that they describe as a Midnight Blue Metallic. I think I said that already. But I am going to spray this brush with some MAC Fix Plus. That's just the setting mist that I have extras of, and I just continue to use it. So anyways, I'm putting this all over my lid. Or not, I shouldn't say all over. I'm doing this on like, what is that? Not really the inner, I don't know. Like the inner 2 quarters because it's like half of my lid but in the middle and there's like a quarter of my lid open on either side like that. And then I'm going to take this ColourPop L1 brush and we're going to go into the shade Lake Como, which is the one that I mentioned earlier is the sky blue and silver shimmer up in the corner. I'm going to spray that with some Fix Plus and we're going to put this in. So when I'm looking, I'm going to put this in kind of the center of that other blue. Just lighten it up a little bit, you know? And then I realized I didn't take it far enough over here. And then I just felt like this blue was darker than the purple matte. So I went into Como After Dark, which is the special effect gunmetal that I talked about earlier. And I took a Blend Bunny Cosmetics B2 brush and I just kind of packed this on the parts of my lid that were open to just create a little bit more depth with it. Because it's a black, like it's a gunmetal, but it's a dark gray, basically black shade. And I am taking it into the crease a little bit because I'm kind of treating it like a matte. And then I did go in with some of my other brushes to sort of help blend that into the crease a little bit better. So yeah, that's basically the look. Let me clean this up. We'll come back in a second. I don't know why I always announce that. You're just like watching the video. What, are you gonna go somewhere? You might. I'll be back. Okay, here is the finished look. Finished second look, I should say. This, I did the exact same mattes on bottom. So I used the shades Mamma Mia, When in Rome, and Capri Fun. So the like purple, pink, and mustardy yellow shade. In the inner corner, I put Lake Como, but it wasn't quite light enough for an inner corner highlight for me, so I did tap over it with my Blend Bunny Noctilucent highlighter that I have on my face, just to brighten up the inner corner a little bit more. But, oh, one last thing I did, and I'm sorry I didn't film it, I felt like my edges were a little harsh, so I took the shade Holy Cannoli, and I just kind of buffed out those edges a little bit, just to make it a little bit softer of a blend. So yeah, that's what I did. Let me know what you think of this look in the comments. This is definitely the look I prefer out of the two, but I did feel like I felt pretty in yesterday's look for sure, and given that I was going on like my anniversary dinner date, I felt like it was perfect for that. But this look is more me. Listen, if I have the opportunity to do sunset mattes with like blue shimmers on the lid, I'm gonna do it. It's one of my go-to looks, so I'm super happy with this. Let me give you my thoughts on this palette. So as I kind of mentioned in yesterday's video, these like more chunky texture shimmers, I would count Lake and Bake in that category too. If you put too much of them, they can kind of they can really enhance texture on your lid, which I think I said this earlier in the video, but I don't mind that. I like having different textures on the lid. I know some people don't like that though, so I want to make that clear. Lake Como, Spritz and Glitz, Como After Dark are all very soft, more subtle shimmers, and I feel like if you get a close look at my lid, you can see that it's definitely metallic, but it's kind of a subtle shine that's really not enhancing texture at all, but it's also not super sparkly, super intense, so do with that what you want. I will say, when I compare this to my indie eyeshadow palettes, indie has better shimmer formulas. That's the word I was looking for. Better, more intense shimmer formulas that I feel like don't enhance texture. But for a mainstream, like big market palette that is, or brand that's like sells in Ulta and things like that, I think this is nice. I like this a lot. This is an interesting palette from Too Faced. I feel like the formula is pretty easy to use. Like the mattes were really easy to blend. They're not like I had to go in a couple times to build them up to be like as dark and as bright as I wanted them to, but it wasn't so bad, if that makes sense. I didn't spend too much time doing it. So overall, I really like this palette. I did have some creasing in the outer corner yesterday with the shade, what was that? Sin Sin, that I had in the outer corner. That creased after about 4 hours, but it was subtle creasing, but it still creased after about 4 or 5 hours. So, but again, like I said at the beginning of this, or maybe it was the beginning of this look, but I'm using my About Face Shadow Fix Primer, and I've been having more issues since I switched to a new bottle. So I 100% don't know about that. But the shadows themselves apply beautifully. So that's as far as I go with first impressions thoughts. I did use 14 out of the 18 shades, so I got a decent amount of shades that I checked out. The only ones I didn't use were Feelin' Saucy, Grappa Don't Preach, Impostable, and Gelato. I think those were the 4 that I didn't use. So, you know, I'll continue to use and play with this palette a bit more, give my ongoing thoughts. If you are not subscribed, I do monthly ranking videos on my channel, and I rank every palette that I used in the prior month. So both new and old palettes, just give my ongoing thoughts with palettes. So if you're curious to hear more thoughts on this palette, you should definitely subscribe because I will give them as I have them. I'm also planning to do Palette Palooza, which is a series that Lady Katie92 or Katie Marie, I'm not sure what she is on YouTube, but she does over on her channel. I will try to remember to link that down below, but she takes palettes that, like new palettes, and once she's like done several looks with the palettes and has like fully fleshed out thoughts, like the whole video is just focused on sharing those looks and also her thoughts on the new palettes. So I plan to do that. This will be in the second batch of palettes because I already have so many palettes that I bought this year during my low buy. So yeah, anyways, lots of exciting things to come. So let me know what your thoughts are about this look, and I will see you all next time. Bye!